Lumos. So hi, welcome back to Into the Cina-Verse. My name is Luca,
And my name is Nick.
and today we'll be reviewing Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Pew.
So we'll start off with our initial reactions. Let's start with you, Nick. What did you think of it?
I think it was great. I think the whole Fantastic Beast sort of series, let's call it series, is getting along. Obviously, it will never beat the actual Harry Potter series. That's, I think, untouchable at this point. But I do like where it's heading. The only thing that I think that didn't top it off that well
Ravenclaw rules! Woo!
I think the only thing that didn't top it off that well was Grindelwald. Not because of the actor. I think Johnny Depp was a bit better as for the character.
Okay.
So I understand that Mads is a great actor. I loved him. I mostly know him from Hannibal, and I do love him. So I'm not going to go against the actor, but as a production, as a film, as a character, I think Johnny Depp did a bit better job.
Okay.
Just it's more of an opinion, but I did prefer him than Mads. Other than that, I think the whole film and story was something that's incredible. As a whole, I would call it as a production, then it was very great. I did like it. I do love the Fantastic Beasts production, how it's going.
Fantastic Beasts, what it's doing is, although it's in the same universe and there are going to be a lot of callbacks and references to the original films, mostly through some usage of some characters, like Dumbledore, for example. But it has to be set on its own. It has to be set apart. And I think it's doing it perfectly well. Spin-offs, they're never going to be good as the original. As in, these are very rare that spin-offs are good or even better than the original. I think people should respect the production of it, what they're trying to do. And obviously, it's going to be a little hard because we're so connected, not only to the books, but to the films.
It doesn't mean because they're trying to do something different, it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. Because the main thing is, their Harry Potter films were based on the books.
Yeah.
This is an original story. Okay, yes, J.K. Rowling is part of it. She's part of the story writing team of it all. I really liked the first one. The second one, as in it wasn't bad, it wasn't good neither. This one, I would mark it as my favorite. I think it's slightly better than the first. And one of the reasons why I think it's slightly better than the first is because for the story writing team, for the screenplay, J.K. Rowling got back the original screenwriter
of Harry Potter
from the Harry Potter film series. I felt the story, the dialogue, everything flow much more better. I followed the story and I understood the story more so. In the second one, it was very confusing. So we're going to talk about a little bit of the characters in the series.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the supposed main character of the series, which is Newt.
Now, I'm a Hufflepuff. Let's be honest. We finally have a Hufflepuff. That's the main attraction. Hufflepuff. I connect with Newt, and I really love Newt, especially that he is. I forgot what they are called in the Harry Potter world.
Magic zoologist.
What he said. I feel that his character is consistent, but also developing at the same time.
As in, the one thing I will say about Newt is that, listen, the franchise at this point is called Fantastic Beasts. He wrote Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
So he should be the actual protagonist of this franchise. In a way, to be completely honest, he isn't. In the first film, like, his role dovetailed. So the beasts that escaped from his case and the Obscurus, which was Credence, their separate plots kind of went together in the first film, so it kind of made sense. In the second film, these Fantastic Beasts were like supporting characters. They weren't part of the
Okay.
plot.
Alright. If we're going on story, I did feel that even the third one, it was more about Dumbledore
Yeah.
and Grindelwald at the
But
same
the thing
time.
is that the Fantastic Beasts were actually part of the story. They were part of the plot.
Exactly.
The
That's
chilling
what's
or the
good.
killing, I don't
Chilling.
know. The chilling.
Chilling.
Like, remove the chilling, there's no story. What character was used for the audience in order to introduce the chilling? Newt. They made Newt again part of the integral part of the story. Yes, Dumbledore is important, very important. Grindelwald as well. But Newt Scamander is the main character of this film.
And I think they're using Newt as the main character to also sort of release kind of different parts of the lore of Harry Potter through Dumbledore and about Dumbledore and Grindelwald at the same time. And I think that's a very interesting way of how they're doing it. It's like we have a main character that has nothing to do with Dumbledore and Grindelwald, but at the same time we're using Newt, a character that has nothing to do with them, to make a story about two different characters.
Yeah. No, one thing, now the last thing I think that we will say about Newt is, like, it's his evolution. Okay, because you didn't see the second one. In the beginning of the second film, Theseus, he's an Auror. And he's also considered a war hero. He tells Newt in the second film, even a person like you, who is the definition of neutrality, he doesn't side with anyone, even you at this point in time, he has to pick a side. After Lita dies, he tells his brother, okay, I've picked my side. In the third film, we see him evolve even more because he's beginning to trust people.
Even at the end, when everything is done, literally at the wedding, there's Dumbledore on the bus stop and he goes, if I had to do something like this for you again, I would.
In the first film, he wouldn't let anyone take his case. In the third, he did. Moving on to Albus.
I do love how they brought Albus. He does match the older Albus Dumbledore. Sort of, I can see there's a connection between their both personalities. And we can see that connection between the two series. And I love his I also love how he appears.
He dresses.
How he dresses.
Dumbledore's got style. Crucial. The film is entitled, Fantastic Beasts. Secrets of Dumbledore.
And I think Dumbledore in the Harry Potter series, he's the most mysterious person. We don't really know that much. And I love where we start to find out more about Dumbledore and what happened with Voldemort and all this. And now knowing more secrets about Dumbledore, I feel like I'm back in those last 3 films of Harry Potter, finding more about Dumbledore. We did find out about his life, his love life even more now.
We get to find out more about his time before, like, Harry Potter. So we find out about his childhood. So because of his brother, and they mention his sister, Ariana, who, as in they were mentioned, and we do see Aberforth and Ariana in the 7th film.
We're starting to unravel Dumbledore. Which I think, besides obviously Newt being the main character, I think that's sort of what's happening throughout the story more.
Because the thing is, and it just came to my mind just now, is that, the title is Secrets of Dumbledore. Dumbledore in that title may not only refer Albus, it's a reference to the entire family. The entire family has its secrets. Albus has his secrets.
His brother.
Aberforth has his secrets, exactly. And even Credence, Aurelius, their sister Ariana, their mother Kendra. Moving on to Grindelwald. Now, I like Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know how I'm going to be taken here, but I prefer him than Johnny Depp.
Really?
In that role. Now, I love Johnny Depp as an actor. And when he was Grindelwald, he became Grindelwald. Could not see Johnny Depp. With Mads Mikkelsen, I was seeing Grindelwald. I was seeing this evil wizard, like the evilest of wizards before Voldemort.
He does a very good
along.
evil character. Psychological evil but intelligent person. Which I did see that sort of characteristics in Grindelwald with Mads.
To be completely honest, when they were first casting for Grindelwald, I wanted Mads Mikkelsen. Then they picked Johnny Depp and I wasn't against it. Moving on to Credence / Aurelius. So we finally know who he is. He's Aberforth's son, which was a real, no one expected it. The fact that he was actually Aberforth's son, it was a really good twist. Moving on to, I think he's one of my favorite characters in this whole Fantastic Beasts franchise, apart from Newt, it's Jacob. He's so funny, man.
I grew to love Jacob very much. And he's not afraid to sort of give action or speak up.
Exactly.
I love that about him.
He is used for comedic relief.
Yeah.
We can see, because we started to refer to Newt's evolution as well.
Yeah.
He's having an evolution of sorts as well. I like that you're going like this as well. Like, you're doing the memory thing.
I'm doing the memory thing. This is me thinking very smartly.
We see Jacob go through this evolution as well. When in the first scene we see him in the film where he meets Eulalie Hicks,
Yeah.
he says he doesn't want to be part of that world anymore. Like he's not going to say anything to anyone about it, but he doesn't want to be part of it anymore because of what happens to Queenie, that she left him.
Exactly.
But and then we see him come full circle. He's part of that world. He knows he is. His character, he felt like a side piece, like a side character. In the first one to Newt, and in the second one to Queenie. But in the third film, he was part of the team.
Yeah, he was like he carried the case, and he did some
but he was
missions.
invested. He felt like part of the team. Moving on to some other characters that we'll get through rather quickly. Theseus, brilliant character. Okay, we got introduced to him in the second film. He got kind of a mixed reception. As a character, the actor, everyone loved him as an actor. I forgot the actor's name. You like him or you don't like him.
It's one of those characters like
that. In the second one, it's like Theseus is on his own journey. Yeah. And although he wants to be close with his brother, he doesn't fully like support what his brother does, that he's a magic zoologist, that he spends most of his time with these beasts, right? But in the third film, he has no choice but to trust Newt, right? And we all know what scene we're referring to.
I think, is it crabs? It's crabs. Yeah. The crab scene.
They're not crabs. They have a specific name.
I
don't know what they.
I don't know exactly their names are, but they look like crabs. So I call them crabs. And when he just puts up his hand, I'm like, okay, what's going on? What are you doing? And then he starts swaying like with his hips and doing this, and then goes to his brother. And then when his brother starts to join in, then like in the cinema, everyone started to laughing. And I was like, just what the hell is this?
This was a very, I think, unifying moment, like between the two characters and between the audience as well. Because I saw it the first day, and the cinema was packed. And everyone just started to laugh. Like it was brilliant. The way they did it, that's the way it's supposed to be. Like especially between a character as awkward as Newt is.
Yeah.
And with a character that is headstrong and kind of rigid like Theseus. Eulalie Hicks, she was referenced in the second film. She was seen in a book.
Okay.
Her face was seen in a book. But there was no name, no one knew who she was. So it was very wasn't that well told. That's the difference when you get a very good screenwriter from the original Harry Potter. Because now we were introduced into Eulalie Hicks.
Yeah. I love her introduction in the beginning.
She was very funny. She was very confident, and I really liked her character.
She performs very comedically, but in a very intelligent way. You might not see
in a very confident way.
And very confident as well.
Bunty. So we only saw her for a little bit in the second film.
But now she's a full part of the team.
She was fully part of the team,
and she had a very important part that Newt didn't know about. And sort of, I didn't expect that, especially at the end, at the sort of better scenes when they're trying to get to Grindelwald with their cases. I thought at first, because they give you a hint of her from the back and you don't know who it is. She looks like a sort of nun. That's what it is. And I didn't expect it was her. I didn't expect it, because at that point I was like, okay, Newt's case is fake. Jacob's case is fake. Newt's brother Theseus' case is fake. Who has and then at that point I forgot about Bunty.
Who is the least person probably that will have the
doesn't
case.
bring
It's
attraction to
it's
them as
between
well.
her and Jacob.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not going to give it to Jacob, but then probably it's her, because they think it's going to be the two strongest wizards.
But
So
that's going to be.
it's between Dumbledore,
Yeah.
right, and Newt.
But they're not going to.
Apart from Theseus, because Newt, he's a magic zoologist. So
Yeah.
it's either going to be him that's going to have the case, or it's going to be Dumbledore. the strongest wizard.
I was hoping at some point I was like, damn, he has the case. It's really not stupid, but very predictable if you give Newt the
Exactly.
case. And giving it to Bunty was something that it's unexpected. At that point, I forgot about her. And I think that's what's great about her, because you don't expect her. She's very unpredictable. She's very quiet. I wouldn't say invisible, but she can blend in with.
But the type of
with
character that she is, exactly.
Uh-huh.
She's very forgetful.
She's in a very non-offensive, because I love her. I loved her character. She's very forgetful, but in the same time, that's a very great advantage about her.
Aberforth, but he's actually a very important character, both in the film, like in the Deathly Hallows, and also in the books. And we get to see his character, his younger version at least,
Yeah.
in this film, and I think he'll appear more because
Yeah.
he's a very important character in Dumbledore's life. And I think this will only be like, the point is that we found out that Credence Aurelius is his son. We'll get to know more about Aberforth down the line, maybe in the fourth, maybe in the fifth film
Yeah.
as well. And we'll get to see, maybe even through flashbacks, I don't know, but
Hopefully
we'll take
some
a look
flashbacks.
back at how Dumbledore, at how Albus and Aberforth were as kids, as in they reference a lot. I'll just say one of my favorite scenes about Aberforth is when Albus and Aberforth
Uh-huh.
are eating in the Hawk's Head, and McGonagall knocks on the door, and obviously he didn't know that it was her, and he calls her.
What was the word that he used?
He calls her something sod.
Swine.
No, he calls her a sod, which I don't know what it means. It's very British. I don't
Very
know what
British. We're not
I
British,
don't know
so
what
we
a
don't
sod
know.
is. I'm saying it randomly, like it could be very offensive, and I don't know.
We're not going to go into.
But he says something before sod, which I forgot. And then he apologizes to her very randomly, which is quite. And lastly, Queenie.
It was a nice add to the sort of relationship with Jacob. It's a good thing they didn't focus on that a lot, which is good, because I think romance sometimes overkills the whole story thing.
Because the thing is, in the second film, that's the reason why she goes with Grindelwald, because according to him, he's not opposed to it, that they can get married in the world Grindelwald wants,
Yeah,
which is not the case because Grindelwald hates muggles.
yeah.
But Grindelwald, he used her weakness, which is her love for Jacob, in order to lure her to join him. But Jacob obviously
Had a good heart and
has a good heart, as in she has a good heart as well. But he was maybe a little more wiser, I would say, and he did not go with her.
yeah,
The thing is, at the end, they get married. Muggles and
wizards.
which is, they cannot get married in the US, but in the UK they can. Okay, so we find out this in the second film.
Okay,
Because they say it, because we got
this is a new thing for me.
Queenie suggests to Jacob, why don't we stay here in England, in London, where it's legal, and we can live here together. And obviously, so that's a wrap on the characters. And there was another character, actually. It's Tina. She didn't appear in the film. She appeared in the last scene at the wedding.
Just for the wedding.
I don't know why. I researched a little, and apparently, I think because Catherine Waterston, who plays Tina, she had some scheduling conflicts, and I think she only managed to do that scene. So they decided to make the scene she's in very memorable.
Yeah.
Very influential, and that was a very influential and memorable scene. I think that's why. Liked or disliked moments, favorite moments. What is your most favorite moment?
Very hard to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like a very basic person, but I think it's the crab scene. Obviously, the animals. It's not a moment, but every time there's an animal involved,
A fantastic
beast. So, and you sort of get this unexpected sort what they can do, and you know their ability. Especially like, for example, in the beginning, there's like a puff. I don't know what they're called, like a puffer fish, kind of. He blows up, goes like a hot air balloon. He goes up
in the beginning.
With his tail, he gets newt and all the caves and the animals, and then just sort of explodes into wings. Like,
Right.
that was unexpected. I thought they were going to like hover slowly, but then it turns into like a small dragon, kind of. And that was like, every moment there was a fantastic beast. It's
It was
just
cool.
It was really cool.
No, as in I would say, yeah, my favorite moment is that scene as well. It was the most funniest of scenes. It was
And,
great, especially seeing characters like Newt and Theseus together. It made the scene.
Yeah.
Plus, a scene within those sequences of scenes is when the Niffler and the boat truckle
Okay.
are trying to escape.
Oh yes.
I don't know if that scene or a little while after. So the boat truckle jumps or is falling, and there are coins also around him.
Oh, and
the
he
Niffler
was going to go for
and the boat truckle thinks that the Niffler is going to catch him,
And
but
he-
no, he catches the money.
coins. No, that was funny.
That was very funny.
Another moments I would say I liked the most were the fighting scenes, because okay, it's wizarding world. You want them to use their wands, their magic, their spells. In the Harry Potter, we see them use a lot of spells that aren't destructive, a lot of illusions, conjuring, and all this. So okay, so you're going to hate me for this, but in the Harry Potter series, the fighting scenes weren't very
Combative.
the only
That's it.
most creative and really cool part. Dumbledore is fighting Voldemort for the very first time.
Voldemort.
Yes.
Yes.
In the Ministry
of Magic. Yes.
And
yes,
he gets
okay.
the whole water around him, and Voldemort, I think, gets
Then there's
a dragon fired. Exactly. That was very, very creative. In this one, they took a bit of a different turn, which I would prefer than the normal combat scenes in the Harry Potter. Even their movement is different. It's not like flicking a wand anymore. It's literally like they're using the wand as a actually defending
They're
themselves.
using it as an extension of themselves.
Exactly.
There's more style to it.
So one of the scenes is when Dumbledore and Grindelwald were fighting together.
Yeah.
So dislikes. I don't think I actually dislike parts of
Much.
this
As in,
film.
not even me.
I
I
don't know which
I
scene
could
I would
see-
say.
I could see a few plot holes,
Yeah.
but not necessarily scenes or moments that I disliked. So that's it from our end for this video. Tune in for our next video where we talk about the Easter eggs and our final predictions for the Fantastic Beasts franchise. So please like, comment,
And subscribe. Bloody hell.